welcome back. The Herd is coming up next right here on FS1. So let's head over check in with Colin. Hey, Colin, what's on the show?
You know, we're falling in love with the Brooklyn Nets and all this offense. I am going to shock you and tell you why they have no chance to win a title coming up.
All right, Colin, thanks. Well, according to NFL Network, free agent Aldon Smith is visiting with the Seahawks today. Seattle was interested in trading for the pass rusher last year, but Dallas held on to him before deciding to move on this offseason. Smith had 5 sacks last year for the Cowboys, 3 of which came against the Seahawks, and with 3 last year. So, Shannon, do you think he will sign with the Seahawks, or will he return to the Cowboys?
Yep, go to the Seahawks. Go to the Seahawks. No, y'all didn't want him. You could have done signed him.
We want him. We still want him at our price.
In other words, Seattle going to get him at their price.
Okay.
Your price just went up.
Yeah.
And since you didn't want to give us what we wanted to begin with, I think we'll take a few less dollars to go to Seattle and win.
Oh, so you laughed at me last year when I said Aldon Smith was going to be a revelation, a godsend, and he was for about a month.
Yeah.
Because he did all his damage in the first month of the season, and then he hit the wall and he went pretty quiet the rest of the way.
Yeah, Skip.
Because he hadn't played for, what was it, 5 years? So he just ran out of gas. His body was not fine-tuned enough to take the beating for the 4 months.
Skip, you want to get a man that hadn't worked in 5 years, you want to give him a manual labor job and say work a 12-hour day and they don't expect him to be tired the next day he comes to work. Of course he's going to be tired, but don't worry about it. We're going to take him up off your hands.
Okay.
Watch what we do with him.
By all accounts, by all reports, Dallas wants him back. He loved playing there. He's close with McCarthy.
Loved ED.
Yeah. Huh?
Loved ED.
Loved ED, past tense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if Seattle overpays for him, that's fine.
Oh, that is Seattle overpay.
I think he loved playing for America's team because everybody does.
Does he want to go to the playoffs? I mean, his first couple of years, he's in the playoffs, win the Super Bowl.
Well, if you win the division, don't you go to the playoffs?
Y'all not winning the division.
That's a done deal.
Oh, no, you gave me the field. Y'all not going to the playoffs.
I took because it's a cakewalk. It's over. And Aldon can go for a little ride with us.
I'm thinking what, 8-8-1, 9-8? Maybe 8-9.
I miss the playoffs next year.
With Russ.
That division.
He's like, I want to go to a better quarterback. Who's better quarterback, Russ or Dak?
Well, Dak beat Russ head-to-head in a playoff game. That's all I know.
We had to beat you twice in the regular season. Just beat you last year.
Nobody cares about that.
Oh, nobody cares now.
Care about
Moving on. We only talk about the future right now.
Well, Aldon Smith is
Good
going
stuff
to,
today, guys.
yeah.
How about we do it again, same time tomorrow morning? I'll see you guys then. The Herd is on now. Have a good one. Baker Mayfield was expected to start negotiating a long-term contract extension after seemingly outplaying his rookie deal. However, there apparently hasn't been any progress made on that front between the former #1 overall pick in Cleveland. According to The Athletic, the Browns could have concerns about entering into an expensive long-term extension with Mayfield, but picking up the 5th-year option looks like a formality. The team could then evaluate Mayfield over the next year or longer if a palatable extension remained elusive. That was hard to say for me. Okay, Shannon, will the Browns sign Baker long-term?
Well, there should be in no rush because Baker Mayfield isn't the guy that's, Jenny read that he's outperformed. But no, he hasn't. Just pick up the 5th-year option, evaluate him after this year. Patrick Mahomes outperformed his rookie contract. Deshaun Watson outperformed his rookie contract. Let's just take the guys that he got drafted with. He's in the same draft class as Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen up in Buffalo. Of those 3, Baker Mayfield is not the best. He's not. One guy's gone to the playoffs 3 times. Lamar Jackson has gone to the playoffs all 3 years he's been in Baltimore. Josh Allen the last 2 years. Lamar has 30 wins, 7 losses. Baker Mayfield has 23 wins, 22 losses. So Lamar has 7 more wins with 15 fewer losses. Josh Allen has 5 more wins with 7 fewer losses. Now, Baker has more passing yards, but Lamar is more than just passing. Lamar has 7,000 passing yards, but he probably has another, 3,000 yards rushing. So he's a combination. And Josh Allen, I don't think anybody thinks that Baker Mayfield is better than Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. So for me, Skip, and what we've seen, what scared people is that when the Rams did what they did with Goff and what the Eagles did what they did with Wentz, and neither one of those guys are currently on the team that gave them that money. So I think that scared us like, you know what, we're going to wait. We don't really need to do this thing with 2 years, 2 years out. Let's go to that 4th year. Let's see how he performs. Because, Skip, you see where it is now. $40 million. Dak just got 40. So you know the next contract gonna be what, 41, 42? Dak got 126 guaranteed. Next contract going to 130, 135, 140 guaranteed. So the Browns are saying, nah, we not in a rush. We gonna see this thing through one more year. We'll pick up that 5th-year option, and then we'll go from there.
So, what did the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp repeatedly beat on me and tell me? Why didn't Jerry Jones sign Dak when he should have? He waited too long, and look what it cost him.
Yeah,
that's all I heard from you for like 2 years.
Yeah, but the problem is that you had a 4th-year and a 5th-year option. Dak had no option because he wasn't a first-round pick, so you couldn't put an option
But you
on
kept
him.
saying, pay me now, pay me later, and I had to pay through the nose later.
Right.
Okay, so why wouldn't you go ahead and try to work a deal right now that would be more palatable long-term with Baker than if you wait and do the 5th-year option and let him play it out?
No, I'm not going to skip. I'm going to do it after the 4th year. I'm just going to pick up the 5th-year option as a formality. No, he's not going to play on the 5th year. He's not going to play on that 5th-year contract. This is his 4th year.
Okay.
So he plays this year. So he'll be going into his 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll do something after this year.
Okay, but you told me sooner than later.
Yes, it'll be sooner. Because, Skip, the thing is, he still have to, the thing is, the contract wouldn't actually kick in until 2023.
Okay.
Because the 5th-year, he'll be playing on the 5th-year option, even though he has the long-term security moving forward.
So, going into Baker's draft, I told you Baker will be the best quarterback in that draft. You said Sam Darnold would be, and we locked horns on that one.
Right.
And it was a shock to everybody that Cleveland took Baker first.
Right.
Because most people had maybe inked in Sam Darnold to go at least higher than Baker Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
Baker seemed to be the 3rd quarterback or whatever. I'm going to dig in on this one, and I'm going to say long-term, Baker will prove to be the best quarterback in that draft. Better than Josh and a little better than Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
The problem that Baker had was he did too many commercials too early. He gained a little too much weight too early. He got a little too full of himself too early. And he had a clown show of head coaches and coordinators for 2 years. For 2 long years, he had 3 head coaches and 3 different coordinators just for his first 2 years in the National Football League. As you well know, that is hard to overcome because it's one thing after another. And just when you think you're comfortable with this scheme, all of a sudden, the whole direction changes in the franchise. And you're never sure from day to day who's in charge, who's going to be fired tomorrow. And all of a sudden, they hit on somebody. They got Kevin Stefanski to come in and to really be both.
Right.
He's the head coach and he's the coordinator. Alex Van Pelt's the quarterback coach.
Right.
But again, Stefanski is in charge, and he finally brought Baker some trustable structure last year, and it started to take off. And I told you Odell was not a great fit with Baker because he idolizes Odell. He socializes with Odell.
I don't know if that's the case, Skip. I think the thing is that Odell needs to go somewhere where the quarterback is bigger than he is.
Okay, that's fine too. Whatever. But I watched Baker game after game try to get the ball to Odell. His first read in his head was Odell, even if he weren't primary, because I got to get him the ball. Got to get him the ball. To his detriment, where you get so Odell-centric that you start to neglect the other weapons you have, like a Rashard Higgins, who he loves to throw to him, and he's open. He's going to get singled every play because of Jarvis and Odell.
Right.
So once Odell, I'm knocking on wood for him. I hope he comes back because I don't even like to talk about
Yeah, he'll come back. We're going somewhere else, though.
Well, he got hurt. It was, week 7 against Cincinnati. And all of a sudden, Baker took off. And he went 8-3 down the stretch. But more important, he threw 19 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions. 19-2 is pretty good.
I want to know, what role did Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt play in that?
Obviously, they got talent.
So you want me to give a guy 135, 140 million guaranteed?
What do you tell me? I'm going to turn the argument around on you now. You told me day after day after day, it's the price of doing business in the National Football League.
That's the price now.
Well, that's what you told me. You said, Dak Prescott cost this because that's what it costs to have a franchise quarterback today.
But Dak is not going to be turning around handing the ball off 300-plus times to the running backs either.
Well, he should be because he's got the highest paid running back in pro football.
Well, you got the highest paid quarterback currently in football.
Yes, we do.
So,
and how did that happen? Jerry got backed into a corner.
I told you.
And it, again, Dak, He was lucky not to start off 0-4 last year, but he got every break, so to speak, even though he got hurt and was career
He got
threatening.
literally break.
I got it, but after that, they finished 6-10. So it wasn't like Andy Dalton took over. It wasn't like suddenly
But you believe
Anthony DiNucci.
But you said if Dak had played the whole season, you'd believe they'd have won the division.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, so they wouldn't have won the division?
I don't think so. Not the way they got off. Well, where was it trending? Did they not steal the Atlanta game?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if they hadn't, they'd be 0-4 with Dak going into
They stole the Giants game too.
Okay, well, they were down 17-3 while Dak was still upright in that game.
Yeah.
And they came back, but then it took 2 late bombs from Andy Dalton to save the day in that game.
Right.
Okay, and Andy Dalton had his moments, but remember,